Hey, what's up? It's Stephen A. Williams, president and founder of the creditrepairshop.com. And in today's video, I'm going to talk about hardship letters, really just some things that I see that's going on with people. We got a fraud dispute on an account. Going to tell you what we were able to do for a client so she was able to finish the underwriting process for her home, and something that happened with a local client that claimed he didn't get any results. First, I want to talk a little bit about, I know that people are struggling right now. I know that people are finding it very hard to make ends meet. If you're not a high income with low bills, because remember, there was a time where I had a high income, but I had high expenses. So it's just like having more money, but you got more bills. So you got to always be careful with that. But I understand that people are having a hard time making ends meet. And I want to at least just share with you what I believe you should be looking at doing, especially with the uncertainty of what's going on with Russia. We don't know if something was to ever black out with the internet, can't get to your money, so, anything could happen. So I'm advising, just saying that you might want to have some cash put aside just in case. It could be just for one day, or it could be for 1 week. If something was to happen where our system was to go down, and then while they're getting it back up. And I think I have a special, not like I'm more special than anybody, but there's some unique things that have happened to me and my company over the last, since December, that kind of opened my eyes more of how hacking and different things could be affected, and how much the actual companies that are supposed to protect us with all these softwares, the Nortons, the what is the other ones, the PC-Matic, and all of these other services, and not to just pick on them, I'm talking about all of them, with GoDaddy, all of these companies that have these supposed security services to stop hackers and malware from getting onto a website. And what I've learned since December, become more aware of, is that no one can really stop them. Some companies have this option of nothing can come through to your website, or nothing can come through to your servers, like you can actually stop them. But that is not even foolproof, even though they claim it's foolproof. We've went on a process of getting notified, and we internally fix things on our website internally. I've seen it where I've gotten an alert, and we got to work on it before the companies that we hired that supposed to be in this business were even starting to do anything on there. So I think it's about taking more steps to protect. But when it comes to our banking system and what I'm going to tell you some things that you need to be aware of. Number one, if you ever go to your computer and it is doing something that you know that it shouldn't be doing, don't just think that it's just, had a mind of its own. If your mouse flies across the page, don't think that it had a mind of its own. You should immediately turn the internet off on your computer, and then you can look and run your scanning software to see if something's going on with it. When it comes to our banking system, something that I'm noticing, I'm not going to say that it's they're being hacked or anything, but I'm just telling you that going to the websites for online banking, I've noticed that their pages sometimes are not 100% in order. And I'm just telling you from experience, from what I went through with my with my websites and my customer websites that we manage for other businesses, is that one of the first things that I noticed is that the websites were not showing the proper way, like there was something wrong with them. Second thing that I noticed when I was going to try to fix those websites is that I could not get to the login page. Like somehow when you typed in the login page for the website, it would say that page not found. So this is like, you know that your systems have been hacked when something like that happens, because they don't want you to be able to get in there to make that correction. So we have all types of things, lockouts, IP address locks, and we've had attacks from all over the place. But I think that to be safe, you should prepare yourself just in case something happens, where the systems go down and take them a few days to get them back up. And if you need to get groceries or something like that, and if you don't get groceries for the full month, then you'll be able to go and get stuff that you need for your family. And before I get into the hardship letter, I want to tell you that if you have credit cards, use the points. I had never really taken advantage of the points the way that I've taken advantage of them over the last few years. And something that my wife and I have done is we just started using the points, and we got a big deep freezer, and we buy all of our groceries for the whole month. She would freeze dry the vegetables, and the airtight, so everything was ready. And we haven't went to the grocery store in more than a month actually right now. We do have to go to get milk, because you're not going to get enough milk for a full month. My wife loves milk. I don't drink too much milk, but we've had to go to get milk and maybe butter, but very few things that we've had to go get. All right, so talking about the hardship, this is something that we've really become specialists at, and we've used this a lot, but over the last month, we've used this on a lot of people, and this is really working. And one of the young ladies in my customer service team has just she had a special talent when it came to this, is where she's able to express that hardship to the company. Like I've always talked about, when you're trying to get a hardship, either to get them to reduce debt, to give you a payment deferments, or to do a 1099-C, is that you have to build a story, but you can't overdo the story. Like you can't be like, woe is me, I just don't want to pay it because of this and that. I'm having the worst time of my life. You actually have to build a story of, this is what's happening. I want to be able to take care of this, but I'm just not going to be able to. This is what's happening. These are the facts. And here are supporting documents to actually support what I'm telling you. And we've gotten people where 1099-C wrote back with settlements that are like 15 to 25%. Someone just sent one where they took the information just here from what I said on YouTube, and they didn't have to pay their house payment for I think it was a year and a half, and then they're going through some other stuff that I'm going to be answering them on. But they were able to get a deferment, and you can get deferments for any type of consumer debt that you have out there. So don't avoid using a hardship. Every consumer lending company has to have a hardship department, and it's, all you have to do is call them and say, can I send information to whatever department? What's the address? Send an email to them, write it out, send them supporting documents. You'll be surprised on what can happen for you. Next one here, had a client, very well-known client, actually a TV show host, and also a motivational speaker, and was the winner of, I think, Miss Wisconsin at one point, and a veteran of the United States Army. She's done a lot. I don't want to mention her name here without her permission, but she went through some where she had an account. This was her account, a credit card account, and what ended up happening is where somehow it got compromised. So some of the charges are hers, some of the charges are not hers. But she was also getting a new home in another state, and somewhere down south where it's very warm, where she got denied in the underwriting process due to that information. And she is really disputing that information. They're trying to figure out with the credit card company what is fraud and what is not fraud. But right now she's trying to get approved for the home. And I said, okay, this has worked before. I can't promise that it'll work, but can you have your lender contact the underwriting department? And when I say underwriting department, everybody sometimes think that the lender is the underwriter. The underwriter is it could be a computer, but it's mostly humans and computers. And they look at your information and they're like looking up, what about you. And they can, if something doesn't check out, they're going to deny you for the loan. So I said, contact the lenders and had them ask the underwriting department, if we write you a letter saying that we're working on your credit, we know that this happened, and that could they put that aside and allow everything else to go to get the loan approved? And because other than that, she was straight. Everything was straight on her credit. Just this one thing that's a problem, but it's like $15,000. And she said, okay, I'll try. She was very upset. And I actually had wrote, this was the one where when I made the video about the why you got denied for a mortgage. She was actually that individual. And I said, well, get with the underwriting department. Can we write you that letter? It's from our company. It's a third party. It's not like it's coming from you saying that it's being disputed and that it's had fraud on there. Would that work for them? She was not too happy. She, in a good mood about it. She just said, I'll try. Next day, she texted her like 6 a.m. in the customer service team and said, please get it. They said that they will accept it. And so we made the letter, sent it, and boom, I think she got approved. Everything is going good. So to review what that is if you have something that's on your report that is disputed, because you can't actually be in a dispute process when you're going for a loan. But if you could say that this is being disputed because this is something that I'm disputing as fraud. Even if it's a portion of it, it doesn't matter. They can disregard that account and go off of your credit by disregarding that account. And I know that can happen because I have another client that actually is getting a loan, and there was an account that popped up on her report, or the person who was approving the loan didn't see it, and it came up, and she made a big deal about it. And they said, okay, we're going to just go ahead and just, because we missed that, we're going to just base it off of, this other stuff that we saw and approve you for the loan. So there's always different ways through it. And then also keep in mind, these companies want to make loans. Sometimes people think they don't. Most lenders want to make these loans. Let me move that there. Okay, now lastly, what we're going to talk about is, had a client come in, was very, very upset. He had he and his wife signed up for the service in their local. He's a truck driver, and he was like, I heard him talking with I think the sales rep. Yeah, with the sales rep, they were in the conference room, and I overheard him, and I said, hey, let me see what I could do with this. And he went through everything. We talked about credit monitoring. There was a kind of a miscommunication right there, and we got that ironed out. And we said, we need to get your reports. But he said, again, you didn't do anything. What am I paying this money for? He was being that way. And I said, well, let me, we got to look at your credit monitoring, because that's where we're going to see the stuff that came through. They're not always mailing stuff. And I had said to customer service, tell me what we've done for furnishers, because he had a lot of charge-offs on there, and I want to see what we did for the furnishers, where we went directly. And he said, we did everything that we were supposed to do. So I'm like, man, that's weird that you didn't get anything back with showing results or anything. And then I looked down, and there was this bag. There was this bag that was right there, just full of stuff. And I was like, what's the bag? And he put it up on the table, and he said, I don't know what that is. It's just stuff that was sent to me from the collection agencies and creditors. And I started going through it, and lo and behold, it was the responses from the furnishers that we sent. Some of them were offering settlements. It had dispute results, and I don't expect every client to know how to, to know this, even though we tell them, but we know that people get busy. It even had results. He was one of the lucky ones that the bureaus actually sent the results to them, and it had right there, plain English on page 1.
Returning visitor.
These have been deleted off your credit reports. And so I was like, okay, well, this here is saying that you've got results here, and then we got all of these documents showing that, that they responded to you. So we did do work, and I'll just show you. This is just some of it. This is just some of it, and there's a whole on a table that we're sifting through right now, because he had like 30 something charge-offs. We're sifting through on that stuff, and then we're getting the updated reports, and then we're going to put together a game plan. He left in a very good mood. He said, I feel better now, and I think that sometimes it's just misunderstandings. You can't like force credit repair. I don't care what anybody says. Everybody's situation is different. But you can force the process. And I told him, we're still here for you. What we're going to do is we're going to go off of the results that you got now. And you might be asking, why didn't we get those? Why didn't we have the results? Well, he decided to change his monitoring service. And because he's a truck driver, he was just not in the area. And we just said, once you get in the area, we need to get your updated reports, and we need to get access to those. If you want to use that monitoring service that you currently have. And he just had procrastinated, and then it came to a head where he must have been in town and had some time, and then it just, I'm going to go to the office and blow up on them, when everything was really in order. It was just that his procrastination had kind of slowed stuff down. So I guess the moral to that story is that you really don't know where you're at unless you really just sit down and look. And I understand that people, if you're not in the credit repair business and you get this big stack, you got stuff coming in, and you thought that they were bills because it had the company names on them or the debt collector's names on them. You didn't open them. We've had customers that would send the stuff to us unopened. Like they were just like, I don't want to look at it. I don't want to look at it. I don't know if they're expecting bad news or whatever. They just send it straight to us, and we do the opening, and then we tell them, okay, this is something saying that they're not going to come after you anymore. They're going to cease collection activities. This is one that they validated. They sent all the information, and we need to move to a settlement on that. So, what's your next? What is your thoughts on it? And then they, get to thinking, and they're like, okay, yeah, on that one, that was my account, and I do want to go ahead and try to I want to go ahead and see what we can do for a settlement. And we handle that for them. Like, we'll send the settlement offer. They'll send it back in the mail. We accept it, or we counter with this. It's easy. I don't want to say it's an easy process. It's an easier process when you have a third party in between, because if you don't, they're going to try to dig into you and say, what's your income and your job, and they're going to try to do all this backstabbing stuff on you. Like what happened in the video where the lady is suing, the Federal Trade Commission sued, or CPB, Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, sued one of the debt collectors. I think it was Midland Funding, because what they did is they actually set up the individual to get sued. And this is how they did it. They sent a statement saying that we need to get your employer information. And then when they found out where she, 100% where she worked at and some more information about her job, they said, this must be a good job. Let's go ahead and sue. And that's actually against the rules that were. So they tricked her into giving information. And then they, off of that information, they went and tried to get 100% of the money rather than even thinking about a settlement. And I guarantee you, if they didn't have that information, they would have just sent a letter saying, we would like to offer you a settlement, or let's talk about doing something on this debt. And then the process would be to send that validation to them. Hey, prove this, and this. Prove the privacy. How did you get my information? Show me that document. Show me the contract from you buying the debt from the original creditor. Show me the document on that original creditor sheet that says that there's no errors inside of there. That is 100%. Not your affidavit claiming that the debt you bought is 100%. No, we're talking about the someone from the original creditor saying that all of the debt that you purchased, they guarantee that it's 100% accurate. Also, show me on the contract that you got from the original creditor when you bought it, with my specific complete account number, my name, and my information, not as a separate document or something. I want to see that, connect the two together and show me that. When you start doing stuff like that, they either want to settle real quick, or they might just say, we're going to cease the collection activities on that. All right, I'm going to end the video here. Thank you for your time. Please subscribe to the channel. We need to get those numbers up. Please like this video. That'll help more people see what we have to offer. If you need help with your credit, please visit us at thecreditrepairshop.com. Watch the video, What Makes Us Different. If you need your credit reports and scores, go to the website your3scores.com. If you have debt collectors coming after you, get my 3-pack of letters: the statute of limitations letter, cease and desist collection activities letter, and the debt validation letter. They are working. They are working. They are working. Thank you for your time again. This is Stephen A. Williams, president and founder of thecreditrepairshop.com.